AD carry is going to survive.
They also now have one that spikes alongside the Corki relatively well. Obviously, Corki's just kind of busted at this point in time, but you hit two items at the same time, they're the same items. So you're kind of feeling all right, especially if you can get an Excel.
You know what?
Beryl did lose his first game on this champion in that loss streak, as Calyx might just be dead. Showmaker holds onto his flash, says you can... a lot of damage back, and Geo doesn't have a lot of the blue stuff to try and fight this one. Aiming continuously, getting these Inspire shields as Gideon looking for an angle towards Showmaker. The flash does come on through for the backflip, landed! And it's first blood over to Gideon! And Chelly kind of starting to get his wish.
Yep, huge gank there, huge time.
Zeus does have his tier now put together, but Aiming has a cheeky extra longsword, and you can see the Ezreal feeling pretty good as a result of all of this movement. Level 6 now gained for Calyx, and he's beginning that all in. Finds a backflip, and there it is! The perfect execution comes down, but it's a 1-for-1 in the end. Just feels ruthless.
Yeah, absolute bloodbath, you know. 2-for-1 in kills at 6 minutes, pretty action-packed, but it's just the trading has been non-stop in this game so far. Speaking of which...
Yeah, there's the public execution now as Kingen doing a fair bit of work towards Geo. We have a Pantheon coming down as well, so Geo knows that he's dead. And he's just going to try and wander his way out. Flash, oh my god, that was so cute! I don't think it's going to work, but man, that was cute. He bought so much time. Look at all that time that he bought with that flash. Don't tell me what the hindsight would say, okay? Don't tell me about it.
Well, what I was going to say is you actually saw Lucid running down through the jungle, and I think he was just trying to buy as much time. I'm not going to be there in time. Here's the solo kill, and I'm going to be honest, for Dplus, getting the counter kill from Lucid is about as good as you can hope from the situation, but this is seeing the impact. The level 6 hit first, the no flash from Showmaker, and Calyx plays it perfectly, hits everything.
Yeah.
But the fact Lucid was there,
they don't need to because they're not there. Grub's going to be taken here by DK. No one having a look at the Dragon just yet. Chemtech still just hanging around, been there for almost 4 minutes. Another public execution coming on down here as we're kind of getting sick of those. As the Equalizer just says, well, no, I would just prefer not to be laning at this point in time. And so that should mean that Gideon can go over towards the Drake. No Equalizer for DK to contest will make things a little bit more difficult, especially when the...
with the trade.
And Lucid going to take his opportunity to head over and grab this Dragon as well, catching them on a reset. Gideon going to be moving towards the top side to see whether or not he can maybe put pressure on this Herald. The Crab is there, but he decides instead he is once again going to try and kill this Rumble. The Equalizer gets a lot of value, but unfortunately not quite enough as the redemption came through exceedingly late.
Yeah, Beryl was trying to get in range for that one. Wasn't quite there in time. I think a good pickup from Gideon. Just to grab that kill with the ultimate, slide in. He is pretty low now, though. And Shield doesn't have TP, though, and this does go down pretty quick, so I think they should be able to get this and get out.
Yeah, they're going to do a lot of damage, yeah. Beryl is just caught napping. They did just have vision.
Yeah.
He did know.
I don't think Beryl got the memo.
Well, no, he did get... And now going to get a crash onto this outer turret in the mid lane. That is going to go down very, very low as Calyx is moving over. Gideon goes in, but there's the public execution. Pop Blossom connects on everyone, and down goes Aiming. The Equalizer is in. It's a lot of AoE, as now Shiu looking for Geo on the side, and the Cataclysm's going to lock him up. Now Lucid trying to get himself out of there. Shiu is just a monster, and he burns King into the ground. That one felt personal, ladies and gentlemen, as DK fight back.
DK with a huge fight turnaround. Calyx going to try and defend here.
Yep, spooky fog on the ground. And is going to be able to just clear out the wave. Very nicely done. So they're not going to be able to take a turret defensive is what it sort of feels.
It hurts me personally, as the sort of person who will...
I mean, you get upset about Cinders not being picked up.
Yes, I'll see like 3 Cinders. There'll be a team fight happening. I'll be like, there's like 4 Cinders over there, you know?
Yeah. Why are you fighting? Well, Kingen going to face check here, as he's not necessarily one to be too worried about the job. And however, Beryl is going to put him on a leash. And even with all the shields, he's still going to go down. Gideon going to be put into the Cataclysm as well. And one after the other, Nongshim are falling apart.
And this is kind of what happens when Nongshim don't get that clean engage. 2 members just caught out by Dplus.
Calyx is doing some good farming in the top lane, though.
He is, but not there for the fight, not coordinating. The second Dragon picked up for Dplus, and now building up a bit of gold. They should just be able to take the Arakan here as well.
Oh man, that's feats of strength. And yeah, Showmaker can now just hang out in this side lane. He's not even worried about the Akali assassinating him. because he's got an arm guard, so much health, and isn't too worried. Even Aiming's health bar is looking kind of intimidating here, but still has yet to finish off his third item. He's going to be wandering towards Gio and Lehens here for now. Through shot barrage. That's a lot of damage, and now Lucid thinks that it's possibly his opportunity. And this is just the turret going down. 3 grubs going to make sure that is going to happen as Gio, he got the memo. He was standing so far back, but still the public execution going to come on through. Gideon takes a lot of damage as Gio didn't have an arm gun. He's not dead! And Chovy is able to turn up, and the barrel redemption! As he lands it this time to pick up the kill. Now on fire, and this game it just feels over. The tempo vibe's overwhelming here on the DK side.
I'm okay with locking it in. I think Vindication is the one for me, but their dragon fight being set up. Calyx being zoned out a bit here.
Lehens is a lonely minion.
What's that minion doing there?
Well, getting some wards down by the looks of things as Gio. Oh man, True Shot Barrage gonna be avoided there, but the Valkyrie is going to be used. Beryl going to take the Akali for a walk as Aiming now going to find him. My god, the damage. He goes golden as Lehens feels like he may have found the angle. We'll see whether he has as Calyx goes into the Shroud. Perfect execution to take down Aiming as Calyx gets back to the Shroud and then just gets unceremoniously burnt to death by Shio on the drive-by. Beryl also somehow surviving, and you know things are going wrong when Beryl is unable to die in a fight. As now Kingen trying to dash his way out. That's a decent stun though, as the equalizer comes through, but not really doing too much as Shio can have to flash to get out of the way of Kingen. And Showmaker, the raid boss himself, is going to show up, and Shio does not stand a chance. And at this point, they're just kind of making...
They had such a rough read on what to do, because I think it was honestly winnable. Showmaker
just on the other side for DK, you know, understanding, oh, I'm the target now, get me the heck out of there, you know? As now DK looking for another engage angle as Lehens is going to find the Pop Blossom, but the Cataclysm going to hold him in place. And Aiming does get assassinated once again. And Shiu trying to do what he can as well on the other side. Nongshim actually finding a lot of power here as Lucid and Showmaker, the sort of last bastion of hope on the DK side. And fortunately for DK, that is going to be enough for them to still take control.
More so than you already had to be with this deficit, with how your comp plays out.
And, man, I want to... Okay, Lucid is going to take a tank buff here. He's pretty tanky, but not that tanky. Down to 50% at this point in time. Nongshim getting some decent damage onto the jungler is going to be important. Tangle buff's barely missing onto Aiming here as Grand Starfall comes in. Gideon pretty far ahead of his team, but they have the public execution. Aiming flashes away though. He's got the shielding, and it's the 2-man shockwave here as well to keep Nongshim at bay. Lucid now looking for that angle, finds an equalizer from downtown. Jiu has one of his own. He gets to throw out, and that is going to get them to safety. DK still on the prowl though, looking for an opportunity as Beryl going to take Lehens for a walk. Does get the snare, and now Aiming able to follow up really nicely still. Lucid goes way too far forward.
Oh, the Akali's on the flank.
Yeah, this time, 100% kill contribution on this Akali. Oh, they got him! As I say it, he is going to get picked off. Does go into stasis here, but I don't think he's getting out. There it is. It's Gideon that locks down the kill and may have stopped the Baron because Lucid has made his way back, but still, that is...
Ambitious angle. I think the problem here was they committed so deep and the Akali wasn't in position to follow up. The Akali's representing so much of that damage. Calyx finally gets there, the shockwave has come in, they have to back off, but I'm not sure we're going to get time to watch all this because the teams are setting up now for the Dragon.
Yep, Lehens looking for a Pop Blossom. Arcane Shift does get Aiming out of dodge, but Beryl is still going to be dead. Cataclysm comes through though, and Aiming is free hitting. Even the Mystic shots in the Shroud are landing as Aiming full health still. And Nongshim gonna have to try and limp their way out.
5 seconds to
teleport his way towards his bottom side, but this Ocean Soul, it's going down very, very low. Kingen trying to deal with Aiming, but he's just not able to. They've got vision. Public execution just to get him out of the way of the Ezreal as one lone Ocean Dragon is going to be picked up. Shiu goes golden as well as the Shockwave doesn't do too much. Still Gideon taking so much damage. Aiming and Showmaker both still alive. Shiu not so much. And down they all go. Calyx is still there. Lehens has indeed respawned. But I just don't know whether Calyx can be the kind of hero they need right now. He's going to need to do something absolutely unbelievable. Disappearing is normally pretty cool, but they need a little more than that.
Yeah, unfortunately, big gold advantage and now going to be able to look to siege.
And this is something that Dplus were never really good at. Like, prioritizing as a team.
This feels still like such an uphill battle right now, and the sieging is going to be so hard to deal with for Nongshim with so many picks like Akali, Pantheon don't really function well defending against the siege. They really need to find an angle to engage to stop their structures just being destroyed.
Yeah, just melting. Gio has made it to 4 items somehow. As Lucid, that's a cataclysm. Lehens is just dead. All right, that's what you do, I guess, when you finish the Rabadon's death cap on your Orianna. You just throw your Jarvan at him.
Yeah, and Lehens had flash. Wanted to save it. Didn't want to have to burn that powerful engage duel defensively.
Well, public execution coming on down here, but Kingen spends some time in the sky and regrets his decision. Calyx looking for an opportunity, though. As Showmaker, he is not afraid. This time going golden at the right time, and this time his team is there to defend. He will go down, but he'll take that for a Nexus trade any day of the week. As DK, it was a long one. It was a slog, but they're still able to take game number 1 in this best of 5 series up against Nongshim. Calyx, pretty heroic in this game, I have to say, but it wasn't, unfortunately, enough.